Hi, I'm Marty Mead, and I'm also known as Martha Ronay Mead. I'm an artist, and I've been teaching watercolor at the College of Marin for over 25 years, as well as visual arts for the Youth and Arts program. I've been painting portraits for years, and I love the story that my paintings tell, and also to share my feelings when I see injustice done. I am Mexican American Indian descent, and I've seen injustice my entire life. Believe it or not, my parents had to sneak into a neighborhood, a segregated neighborhood, in order for us to get opportunity. My mother literally negotiated with the seller and traded our property in a rural area for the home that we had in Santa Monica. So I want to just share quickly some of the paintings that I've done. Again, remember I'm a professional artist, but the first one is called Potato Famine See, Tortillas No. And that was probably done 20 years ago when everybody was talking about the Statue of Liberty, and in the same newspaper there was articles about the immigrants, the illegals coming into California. So you can see nothing has changed because that's still a big issue. The Three Sisters is the painting of the women in my life who were very strong, and they were strong individuals in spite of being Mexican. They had to overcome so many things that I've kind of tried to portray them and show them as the strong women that I remember. And this is Chief Ironhawk. And this was a commission, and this painting is actually the original is in Pine Ridge Reservation. But what I'm sharing it is because I love the way that I painted his dark skin and the proud look in his face. So that's what I want to share with you on how to paint flesh tones. So I'm going to put this away, or I'll just leave it there. I'd like the camera to come behind me so that I can actually show you what we'll be working on. I've chosen this picture of my dad and my two grandchildren. And I've chosen it for a reason, because it shows the difference in skin tones, but also of two individuals who suffered discrimination. My father, who was an American Indian, was very dark, and he had to watch everything as he was growing up. He had to be careful. He was not allowed to swim in the same swimming pool that his light-colored sister could. When his childhood home burned, nobody helped the family because his mother was American Indian. So my dad had this type of struggle, and it haunted him his entire life. But the other person in this picture is Autumn. And Autumn is blonde. She's my granddaughter, who is American Indian and Mexican, but she was raised on the Wind River Reservation in Wyoming. And because of her light skin, Autumn was teased and called Ghost by the other children, and the teachers seemed to treat her differently, therefore causing resentment from the other kids. So I remember crying when she would share stories of being treated differently and how it made her feel. So with this picture, I'm going to lay out some colors and show you the paints that I use. I happen to like burnt sienna, cobalt blue, lemon yellow, and red for my paintings. So I'm going to take a few minutes and show you. We're going to start with a really light skin, and I begin with burnt sienna for all of my skin tones, and I know it looks really red here, but if I lay down a lot of water and work really wet, I get a very light tone. You see how light that is? I might even add a little bit of red to it. If I want to go darker, I start adding blue to it. And I can add more and more. So you can see just from those two colors, the variations that I've got. And if I wanted to make somebody with an Asian skin tone, I would go with burnt sienna. Start adding blue. Oops, that got really dark. Let me go to this one here. And maybe go in that direction. All right, so I'm going to start with autumn here. And I'm going to put water. I like to put water down. Didn't mean to have that happen. I'm going to mix some more color here. And I'm going to make her very, very light. Going to wet it a little bit more because I want it lighter than that. And then using tissue, toilet paper, I'm going to start picking up the pigment. Like her forehead is lighter. The cheeks. And I'm going to get this little bit around her nose. And I'm just going to draw in with a pen her eyes just to give you an idea. So we're just looking at the flesh tones. And for my dad, we're going to go dark. So I always put water down in my paintings first. And I'm going to go with, I'm going to add blue to this. Isn't that neat? Just adding blue to a color, this color, and how it gives us variation. And then maybe I'm going to add a little bit more blue to darken it here. Now his is fading a little bit, so I'm going to add more paint. Go over that again. I'm losing that. Bear with me. This happens. So we're going to go back to the burnt sienna overall. Scary, isn't it, when paintings get away from you? And again, I'm going to just use a pen to darken his eyes just so you get an idea. So that's a rough idea of how I go about laying down color. But I'm thinking that maybe you might think of a friend or somebody that you know that has different colored skin, and maybe do a little story. And this is a simple story, and I'm just mainly showing you the pictures that a child did with me when she was coming to visit me. And she was telling the story about a friend of hers that was really angry. But what I like is just the way that she has put a story to an experience in her life. So think about maybe people that you know, or maybe what you've experienced too in your lifetime that wasn't fair. I think that when I'm painting, I just look at the beauty of different skin colors. And that's what I wanted to share with you. So thank you for giving me the time.